My name is Arabella S. Ruby, and I'm against domestic violence. I couldn't have been no more than 8, 9 years old. We was in church. I remember sitting there, and my mom was giving praise unto God, and I was staring at her because I felt like something was going to happen that night. I don't remember if I fell asleep or I was coloring, not paying attention, but all of a sudden I look up and I hear screaming. Screams that I've never heard before. Everybody left in the church but me, my mom, her husband, and the pastor, and some deacons that were in there. But it was all female. And he was the only male there. I remember when I looked up, I seen him trying to choke her, strangle her. I don't know what happened. It's unclear. The only thing that can come to my mind is that maybe they went up to the altar and she told the pastor about her getting beat at home and he couldn't handle it. She put him on blast and he didn't like it. That's the only thing I can think of. Seeing my mom there struggling and everybody screaming. I'm not the type of person or child to hide behind blankets or doors and wonder what's happening. Little me, little girl, ran up there and tried to protect her mother. I jumped on top of his back and tried to choke him because he was choking somebody that gave me breath, gave me life. And all I remember is his hand going back and I was thrown across the chairs in the church. And that was the first time that I witnessed and felt the effect of domestic abuse. I was unconscious for I don't know how long, but the next thing I remember is that the cops and the ambulance was there, and he was nowhere to be found. Everything was a blur. Only thing I remember after that was a cop in my face with a flashlight asking if I was okay. And I didn't know what to say. I couldn't say anything. I just stood there and looked at him for even questioning me. He seen how it looked. He seen how everything was in shambles. I mean, I know he was just doing his job, but it felt so unreal. What do you say to a child that was thrown across a room full of chairs? It was unconscious. Thank God I didn't suffer any injuries. But the impact is instilled in me forever. So, I've been there, It's not just something to just say, I'm supporting. I've been there. And I just hope this brings out the voices of others to know it's okay to talk. Because I'm not afraid anymore. Of all the men out there, it's a struggle for them. I'm not man bashing anybody. It's a sickness. And if you can't get help or don't want to get help, that man's not ever going to change. It doesn't matter what you do, what you say, how much you tell him you love him every day. It's not going to change. I tried to tell my mother that. She wouldn't listen. I resented my mother a long time after the things I witnessed and seen. I know it wasn't completely her fault, but for me to even see something like that, I had nobody else to blame but her. But it doesn't matter how much I blamed her. I still protected her each and every time. Every time I seen her get into a fight, I was always there trying to hurt the man myself. Just being a kid, trying to fight a grown man. I don't understand how I even became that way. But I'm thankful for the person that I became. I'm glad that I'm not in any type of abusive relationship. I know the signs. I know not to put myself in that type of danger. And this is just to all the women out there that is going through it, still going through it, want to get out. You have to make up your mind to leave, because one day you're not going to have a decision anymore. You're just not going to be there. And this is for everybody. I have no hate for anyone, and I don't wish this upon anybody. Just get out of it. Whatever you have to do, set up a plan, get some help, talk to people, get some money, something. Just get out of it. That's all I got, man. People sometimes ask me, have I ever been in a domestic situation? And honestly, I thank to God that I haven't. Why? Because of watching and learning all the habits and traits and signs from seeing past abusers to my mother. It's easy to pick up, it's easy to see, and I promised myself that I would never falter to the same type modes and self-esteem issues that some domestic roses have. Domestic violence can tear down a whole empire within a second. You know, people always look to others thinking, oh, that person could never do that, or I can't see that person do that. But domestic violence doesn't have a look. It doesn't have a tone. It's not about money. You can't never tell unless you're behind those closed doors of where all the lies come to light. Domestic violence is not a gender. It's not money. It's not poor. It's not rich. It's complete self-control over somebody else so you can have all the power of mind, body, and soul. It affects mothers, sisters, brothers, communities, co-workers. It affects everybody. It affects your unborn child that your wife is carrying. It affects the little ones that even though you might think they're in the room sleeping, they're still listening. And they develop everything that you ever have installed in them while going through it. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about creating anything really, but I was actually getting some flowers for a friend because she was going through some tough times, and you know, that's just how I am. I'm a very giving person, but every occasion, birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, doesn't matter what occasion it is, I always buy my mother some flowers or some roses. She doesn't have anybody to give her anything like that, and so I don't feel obliged in any way. You know, that's not my debt to her. That's just something I feel that she needs from me to make her feel loved, really. So I was in the flower shop getting some flowers for my friend, and all of a sudden, you know, I thought about how much I love my mother when I held those roses in my hand. And I was like, wow. And, you know, of course, my mother was a victim of domestic violence. That's why I decided to create this. It's for my mother. It's for other women that just need to be loved. It's just for people that want to bring sunshine and light to somebody else's world, just a touch, you know. The website itself has, you know, male models on there for projecting themselves of their portraits. I have their name, age, and state, and where they're from, and actually encouraging words from these males that are against domestic violence. So it could be easy just to post up somebody's picture up there just for their own self-gratification, but that's not the purpose. My purpose is to reach out, touch, and love these women all across the globe that have ever been hit by, it doesn't even have to be a man. It could be their family members, their brothers. God forbid, you know, family domestic violence is also a problem. But these males just are enlightenment for these women, so they know that not all men are monsters. They can give encouraging light into their world, just like I can. My goal for love for domestic roses is nothing to do with me. I love helping people, bringing the best out of people, seeing that they can overcome and achieve anything they want to do if they put their mind to it. Sometimes people just need a little push. And I'm glad I could be that helper. This organization is just for women to see that there is somebody that cares about them. Somebody that's willing to be that voice that they can't be. Somebody that's willing to speak on their behalf because they're afraid to speak for themselves. This organization is also made for males and their sons, their children, to even look up and say, hey, my dad or uncle, cousin, brother is supporting something to help the community, to help women, our mothers, our sisters, nurturers, to help them be the better person that they always and should be as queens. A rose has so many different aspects, so many different qualities. It has thorns, you know, because they're prickly. You know, we women, we could be a little prickly sometimes. But then when you get to the tip, we have soft petals that long to just be watered and held and touched, and they're beautiful. It doesn't even matter what color it is. They're all beautiful. And some of them have been picked and prodded and stripped of their pricklies, which is sometimes a good thing. But in this situation, these roses are stripped for the wrong reasons. So, if anybody wants to support Love for Domestic Roses, all you have to do is go to Love for Domestic Roses Facebook page. Or you can even look me up, Arabella S. Ruby, and all you have to do is press the like button. That's all you have to do, is one like, and it's no telling how many hearts you'll touch and how many people it spreads, because you know, if one person likes one thing, everybody sees what you likes, and that's the beauty of it. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. It's a non-profit organization. There's no money being involved anywhere. So just go to it, like it. For all my male models and aspiring male models, please submit your submissions to lovefordomesticroses@gmail.com. Please include your name, your state, and your age, and just simply some encouraging words for our roses to hear and to love. You could do a quote, you could do, you know, just a little something from the heart, but as long as it's from you, that's all we're asking for. We just want to reach out and touch and love our domestic roses around the globe. I thank you for watching.